The next enhancements for 2024 Release 4 we want to focus on has to do with sales tax, using it through order entry and or purchasing, I should say. There's a new feature coming out called Override Tax Schedules in Purchasing and Order Entry. And for those who are using the advanced taxes and have sales tax tracking need for either order entry or purchasing, know that getting those tax schedules to pre-fill in properly and overriding them when they don't, becomes a challenge. So this is a nice new enhancement that is going to allow the user to override the tax schedules right during the document entry, instead of having to go back and edit it in the contact record and the item record and make sure all the different parts are working. And how it works is this. So we're going to go into Intacct, and I'm going to go directly at the top level, and I'm going to go into the module that I'd like to turn it on for. So it's either going to be in purchasing and or order entry. For this demo here right now, we're going to talk about purchasing specifically. So I'll be at the top level, and I'll go into Setup Configuration. And in here, as you scroll down in the tax area, you already have the Use Advanced Tax Schedules turned on. And if so, you're going to see a new menu item here called Enable Override of Tax Schedule on Document Entry. It is an optional feature you could turn on or off. There might be some case scenarios where you don't want to allow override. You want the system to calculate correctly behind the scenes for you. In this scenario, we're going to enable it. So once we do that, that'll turn on that feature for us. We'll click Save. And now we'll go through and kind of show you what that looks like. So I'm going to go over into my Timberline General Construction. And during this process, I set up a purchase order in the system for Jackson Plumbing. And if we take a look at it, basically when the user fills out the purchase order, we're going to put in the vendor, we're going to put in the project, not necessarily know where the tax is supposed to go yet at this point. So it will pre-fill in a delivered to contact. And in the past, you kind of really had to get this delivered to correct right then and there. So if it was a different tax setup, you could establish multiple contacts here, and you could have a particular contact set up for exempt or for a job. You'd have to have a specific deliver to, and you still can with this feature. But what's really nice is if you do forget to code it or code it incorrectly, you can catch it later and fix it. So in this scenario, we've coded it to the project, the cost code, the cost type, and a particular item. And this item is, part of your regular tax setup is going to be either set up as taxable or not. So in this scenario, it's taxable. And we filled in the amount. But at the purchase order level, we're not really worried or tracking the sales tax at this point. So that document has already been saved in Intacct. Now the bill comes in, and we're going to go ahead and do our normal process here. We'll come into that purchase order, and we'll convert it. And I'm going to convert it into this AP bill, this invoice transaction definition, and this one has tax set up in it. So when I convert it now, it pre-filled everything in along with the delivered to, and those who use the advanced tax know how important the delivered to is. When I get down to here, you're still going to want to fill in like a vendor number. But notice what happens. The line item here, there's a new field on your entry screen called tax schedule. Notice it's blank. So in this scenario, something isn't set up correctly to retrieve a tax schedule. Most likely it doesn't have the information on the contact tax group, on the contact record, or in the item, etc. But in order to fix that, you would have to go and flip the deliver to and all that. Now, the user can just come here and pull up a list of the tax schedules that you have already set up in your system and just pick the correct one. And I'm going to pick this Oregon sales tax one I have here. And notice immediately it fills in the tax rate. And as I tab through here, it will also calculate, there's one key factor in this. You probably should have a price in there. So I apologize for that. But if I put a price in, it would have calculated the tax as well here. So let's go ahead and fill something out. So now you can see here the 70 calculated for you automatically. Okay. So what's really nice is maybe something isn't right with this. And you can go, make a note and, come back into the contact later to correct it. But right now I just need to get this in, and I could go ahead and override that tax schedule right here per line item. And you'll notice at the bottom, you can either click to calculate subtotals now, or when you click post, it'll go ahead and fill it down for you automatically. You do not even need to update the calculate subtotal, but I'll do it here for this demo, and you can see the correct sales tax. Now let's say, okay, let's post that. And now we realize that was the wrong tax group. It's not paid yet, so I can come back into that invoice and I can edit it. And you're still going to be able to come into here, go down to that line, and switch the schedule. So let's say this should have been 5.5% tax or a different county, whatever it's supposed to be. And again, when I tab through that, it recalculates the tax. I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to recalculate it down here. I'm going to hit post. And once I do that and saves it, if I go back in and take a look at it, you'll notice down at the bottom, it did that recalculation for us. So this is going to be a tremendously handy feature for users as they're filling this tax information out, to go ahead and get that document into the system with the correct tax schedule without having to really rebuild and reset up the contact tax group. Later on, you can come back into this contact tax group and realize, oh, it's because there's no tax group on this contact here. That's why it didn't work. So you can fix it long term, but for now, get it into the system. So this is a really, really handy enhancement that's coming out. We're looking forward to seeing it.